This is YouTube's greatest mystery, and whoever solves it wins $5,000. On March of 2020, a Google reviewer by the name of Lee R posted this picture of a kebab in a Turkish kebab restaurant. Just like the blue dress picture, unknowing if it was a turd on a pita plate or a kebab that looked like shit, this YouTuber by the name of Dennis would search for the truth. On April 15th of 2022, he would make a thorough documentary on the Turkish poop kebab. He would reach out to a gastroenterologist for the poop side and the chef for the meat side. But this is what they had to say.
Hi, I'm Dr. Carlton. I'm one of the gastroenterologists at Digestive Disease Associates.
I'm going to show you said image here. Here it is. What do you think it is?
I think it's probably a kebab that looks like shit.
Hi, my name is Mark Pesavis. I'm the chef at Amardine Restaurant.
I mean, I'll show you the photo and then we
so
can
sounds
there.
This is definitely ground beef of some sort, I think. In time, so whatever this portion is way bigger than this side. Also,
if he wanted to know the truth, he needed to get in contact with the original publisher, and that was Lee R. He found out that Lee R's most recent Google review was in a shop called Big Woody's in the UK, so he would reach out to them. They actually helped him and attempted to contact Lee R through the Google review, but he would never answer. Frustrated by the mystery, Dennis would put a $5,000 bounty to whoever can prove if this photo is a kebab or a turd.
I'm offering up a $5,000 bounty, either who Lee R is or what this photo is of, with proof.
This is why you should not have an attic. In 2017, a couple by the name of Jerome and Ashley lived on a historic house in Pittsburgh. One night, Jerome overheard noises coming from the attic, followed by a small light shining through the corner of a pipe. He would immediately think to himself, is someone living in my attic? So he would set up cameras to see whoever or whatever's up there. What those cameras captured was nightmare fuel. They saw a 69-year-old man living in their attic, and he had been crawling around and watching them as they slept. It was the owner of a renovating roadhouse next door, and he had installed a false wall that connected to their attic. He was charged for stalking and trespassing, but pledged not guilty because he says he was up there renovating. This farmer encountered a creature that looked like a real-life vampire. During 1975, a series of livestock killings in a small town located in Puerto Rico would attribute to what they call the Vampire of Mocha. Initially, it had been suspected that the killings may have been committed by a satanic cult, but there would be more reports of killings around the island. Each of the animals were found to have their bodies bled dry through a series of small circular insertions near their neck. It has been described as a reptilian-like creature with spikes emerging from its back and leather-like skin. Shortly after their first incident in Puerto Rico, other animals were reported in many other countries with similar causes of death. The terrifying stories of this reptilian creature haunting us remains a mystery. This is the story of a man who ate his boyfriend. Armin Maivis was a young boy who grew up with his mom and was her cleaning servant until the age of 37, where she would pass away. Armin would become a computer programmer and was known by everyone as the best neighbor in town for his good deeds. As a child, Armin always wanted a younger blonde brother to eat because according to him, that would be the only way he could keep him forever. He also fantasized of eating attractive boys in school because he says that's the only way he would make his loneliness disappear. When his mom passed away, he spoke in a chat room of cannibals where people wanted to eat or be eaten. But Armin would realize none of them really wanted to follow through with their horrifying fantasies. Frustrated at this, he made an online ad looking for a young, well-built man that wanted to be eaten. A man by the name of Bernard Brandes responded to his advertisement. The full story is in my page, so if you're interested, check it out. This optical illusion is crazy. It confuses so many people. Check it out. This is the Schroeder staircase. It was created in 1858 by a German scientist named Schroeder. If you flip your phone upside down, it makes it easier for your brain to change perspectives. If you're able to change it at will, that's really impressive, especially if it's your first few tries. It's super cool, so I don't want to spoil the trick. I'll let you guys figure it out. Warning, according to the legend, whoever reads or listens to the story will be visited by this demon in a month. pray for me. Kashima Raiko is a tragic tale of an ordinary woman who lived in the city of Hokkaido, Japan. One night, as she was waiting on the Meishin Expressway train station to get back home, she was beaten by a group of men and left laying on the floor, barely conscious. Raiko, laying on the floor with the little strength she had, called out for somebody to please help her, but it was so late at night there was nobody around. After coming to the realization that no one was coming to help her, she began crawling her way back home. Disoriented and barely conscious, she sees this intense beam of light, followed by a deafening sound. Raiko realized she had been crawling towards the middle of the train tracks, and this train was seconds away from killing her. With a beaten and weakened body, it was already too late for Raiko. The train made its way and severed her body in half. Legend says when she appears to you, she'll ask you, "Where are my legs?" and you have to answer on the Mission Expressway. She'll ask you again, "Who told you that?" and the answer must be, "Kashima Raiko told me that." Legend says if you answer these wrong, she'll sever your body in half. Creepy Unexplained Sounds Part 5. In 2014, during the middle of the night, a man was fast asleep in his cabin, when all of a sudden he was awoken by the screams of a woman crying out for help, so he looked outside his window. When he looked outside into the woods, he was sure he was looking in the direction where the screaming had been coming from, but he couldn't see anything. Knowing the dangers of the woods and thinking to himself, what kind of person could be outside in these freezing conditions? So he decided to stay inside. In fear of what he may have witnessed, he decided to record the event. Take a listen. In 1948, this disturbing picture was taken in a home for emotionally disturbed children. One day, they were given an assignment, and that was to draw home on the chalkboard. All the other kids drew normal things like houses, but this young girl named Tereska grew up in a concentration camp. The real story of Tereska remains unknown, but her chaotic scribbles are a chilling representation of her memory. This woman was so jealous that she killed her own kids. Maria was a beautiful but vain woman. She lived in a small village where she would meet and eventually marry a wealthy man. The pair would have 2 beautiful kids, but after a few happy years together, their marriage started to decline. The husband would begin to spend less time at home and ignoring her, but pouring all his attention to his kids. Then one day, when Maria was walking along with her children, she would see her husband with another woman. Enraged by what she had seen, she grabbed her 2 kids and went to a nearby river where she would murder and dispose their bodies. When she realized what she had done, she would immediately jump into the water to try and find their bodies, but she couldn't. The village would bury her body. On the next night, the village would see a ghostly figure walking along the riverbed, weeping and searching for her kids. This is the original tale of the Weeping Lady. This man accidentally recorded a spirit while he had been boarding an empty plane. A Twitter user by the name Gus Gadong was boarding an empty plane, so he decided to record a video to send it to his wife. He didn't notice anything strange at first, until much later after reviewing the footage. You can see a horrific figure peeking at Gus. Gus claims there is nobody boarded yet. What do you guys think? This woman went tubbing and witnessed the spirit of a drowned victim. On July 8th of 2018, a woman by the name Deborah Morales went tubbing with her friends when she captured something terrifying. Deborah can be heard screaming and laughing until her camera captures something in the water. She captures what seems to be a drowned body. Disturbed by the footage, Deborah reached out for help and found out that the person who drowned in this water had died 5 years ago. This is why people are paranoid with drain pipes. Late one night, a Redditor shared his experience with a creepy creature trying to get in through his bathroom sink. You can see a slimy looking creature pinching around and trying to find his way in. The Redditor mentions this little guy has been trying to get in through other sinks in the house too. He finds it creepy because he always hears it late at night. Are you guys ready for another pandemic lockdown? Because I'm not. Okay, so new virus. No, not that Transformers of COVID named Omicron. Monkeypox. I'll fill you in as quick as possible in regards to this new monkeypox virus. The virus is a less deadly cousin of the smallpox, initially transmitted from animal to human, kind of like rabies. It can also be spread through 3 different ways so far. Human-to-human contact with an infected area, contact with infected body fluids, and sleeping on the same bedding that an infected person used. It's not airborne, thank God. Symptoms are fever, headaches, muscle aches, respiratory symptoms, and blisters. So it started in 1958 from research monkeys in Africa, but it first made its way to the US in 2003. A family had a prairie dog from Ghana, but the family was quarantined properly. Now May of 2022, some dude is suspected of bringing it to the UK and starting a new spread to the US. So the question is, these 2 guys were driving along the outskirts of Montana when this happened.
Buddy! How you doing? Just some cruisers, man.
You can see a strange shirtless guy starts crawling up towards them.
That's crazy shit. Just crawling at me like a goddamn... What's up, dude?
The 2 guys were creeped out from this strange encounter, and they decided to leave before it got to them. What was he doing there, just waiting outside the woods? He was camping in an abandoned tunnel when this happened. On May of 2019, Mr. Omega and his dog were on their way to do an overnight challenge for a video. The location they chose was of an abandoned tunnel, eerily named by the locals, the Railway to Nowhere. As Mr. Omega and his dog get comfortable and ready to sleep, they begin to hear something coming from deep inside the tunnel. He finds a toy playing a happy birthday song, and as he's looking around to see who did this, he finds is horrifying.
What is that? Oh! Max! Hurry up! Max! Max! Get me home!
A man can be seen inside the crevice of the tunnel, watching them. What makes this even creepier is that this tunnel is located in the middle of nowhere. So whatever or whoever did this purposely lured them there. This is why you never provoke spirits. An overnight cleaning lady kept hearing things during her shifts, but when she told her friends, they wouldn't believe her. So one night before her shift, her friends dared her to record herself provoking these entities of the house. She would dearly regret this, since that house would end up being one of the most haunted houses in the world. Take a look.
What? Right, I'm coming out, wherever you are. This isn't funny no more. This is not funny! Off. Right, I've just shut door. Bed, I'm gonna sit on the bed. I daren't move. I want to go down. I'm just gonna ask the little girl that's in the little bedroom. Emma, I'm sorry for shouting, sweet. Will you open the door for me, please? I have just seen something. Right, that's it, I'm off down, I can't take no more.
This man wanted to capture whatever was haunting his apartment. What he sees will haunt him forever. Take a look. This YouTuber died 5 days after saying he wasn't dead. A Norwegian YouTuber named Apetor Eckhoff on his 57-year-old birthday announced to his fans that he wasn't dead. He was a cancer survivor and pledged to enjoy his life traveling and drinking vodka. On November 25th of 2021, his wife filmed him swimming in an ice lake. But Apetor had been swimming inside this lake for way too long. So he had to be rescued by divers, transported to the hospital via helicopter. A day later, Apetor would pass away from his injuries. A man woke up to a Ring doorbell notification on his front door. This is what was waiting for him outside. This is why you don't follow the voices. On August of 2021, Isaiah and his cousin were out hiking in Casper Mountain, Wyoming. And unfortunately for the two, they weren't able to make it before nighttime. As the boys were crossing a bridge, they heard eerie noises coming from underneath it. What they capture is nightmare fuel.
There's something under there. Dude, please don't go down there. Oh my gosh. Dude, hold on. Let me go first.
You can see a pale-looking figure running out from underneath the bridge. Creepy things caught on Ring door cameras. On December of 2020, a Redditor posted a video explaining his experience with a creepy visitor late one night. You can see a woman ringing the doorbell with her mouth wide open in a disturbing manner. The homeowner says he doesn't recognize this woman. So why was she there so late at night in a stranger's house? This is why you should stay away from haunted places. Two friends were trying to enjoy their day off together. They really enjoyed fishing, so they decided that's what they were going to do for the day. They wanted to fish in a brand new area to see what kind of fish they catch. One of the guys recalls a bridge nearby, and he was told to stay away from it, but he doesn't know why. But they decided to go there anyway. As he begins to fish, they would encounter something horrifying. Some people say she was drowned in these waters, and her vengeful spirit now haunts this bridge. These two guys broke into a haunted school. This is what happened to them. From unknown sources, two guys record themselves heading towards an abandoned school that's allegedly haunted. As they get closer, you can see the entrance is blocked off by no entry tape. Yet they still decide to go inside. The two friends would dearly regret this decision.
いや、知らんねん。俺は知るわけねえんだろ。工事なんてやったことねえ。
This girl felt like someone was watching her sleep at night. She wasn't wrong. A TikTok user by the name Amanda Angelo was having a sleepover with her sister. She had been sleepwalking, and creepy enough, just stood there and stared at her.
Stop staring at me like that. Alexis! Yo, you're starting to freak me the f*** out. Mom! 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 Get the fuck away from me. Stop! Why are you crying? Hello? Lexi? Mom! She's just standing here staring at me.
Lex. Hey. Come on, go lay down.
This is why you always lock your doors.
Get out!
A 25-year-old TikToker named Hannah Viverette was making a video in her apartment, when suddenly a man had climbed up to her balcony, and this is what happened next.
Who are you? Who are you? Alexa! Off. Who are you? Who are you? Please get off. Please get out. No, please get out. Yes. Who are you? Please get out of my apartment right now. Please get out of my apartment right now. Get out. Get out. Hello? Please come in.
She would immediately recognize the man. She had seen him lurking around her apartment complex before. 36-year-old Angel Rodriguez Gomez was charged with burglary, assault, and stalking. He was about to go live on TV when this happened. In 2013, a news reporter was getting ready to go live on TV when an elderly man walked past them. They greet each other and he continues walking along. But then you can see the news reporter looking at him as he recognizes him from somewhere. It turns out that old man that walked by was the same person that they were about to file a missing persons report live on TV.
Been looking for you for a while. You heard or anything?
He had memory problems and wandered into the woods at night, but somehow managed to find his way back. A man moved into a haunted house and met his demon face to face. On December of 2009, Peter from the YouTube channel Peter Jan TV moved into a haunted house. Only 2 weeks in, he kept hearing noises coming from a dark hall downstairs. When he went to check and turned on the light, it stopped. So he went back to his room, turning all lights off behind him. This is where Peter hears something coming up the stairs towards him. Peter begins to record in front of whatever came up those stairs. A shoe is thrown at him. Terrified, he slowly approaches it, but nothing was there. A man in Japan was making his way home on his bicycle when his GoPro captured something horrifying. Is this the spirit of a woman who died in a tragic road accident? Why did she follow this man home? This paranormal investigator went to explore an abandoned school. This is what happened that night. On October of 2021, a paranormal investigator in China went to explore a haunted school to see if the rumors of this place were true. As she enters the building late at night, she encounters a few things moving around, but she still continues. Deep in the school, she sees the figure at the end of a dark hall, poking out of the corner, watching her. She remains in shock until she is finally able to move and run out of the school. When you see it. A group of friends in South Korea decided to get together and eat one day after work. They decided they would record the moment, and in doing so, they captured a horrifying apparition. Is this a restless spirit of a woman that had passed away in that house, or is it just a hoax? Creepy, unexplained sounds, part 10. The voices at night. Late at night, a man was walking through a dark alley next to an abandoned old medical center, and this is where he would hear ominous screams coming from inside the building. The medical center used to take care of many patients in poor neighborhoods that suffer from leprosy and other diseases. So it's a place with a dark past, since many patients there would experience a slow and agonizing death. If your dog starts barking like this, he may be warning you of ghosts or demons watching you. A woman moved into an apartment complex somewhere in England. She lived on the second floor, and below her lived alone a frail elderly woman. One night she felt a bang underneath her floor, but she didn't think much of it. After a few days, the elderly woman's body was discovered. She had died from a stroke, and that loud bang she heard underneath the floor that night was her collapsing from the bed. After this, paranormal things began to happen around the building. One night, her dog was terrified, barking at the doorway of their bedroom. Feeling uneasy, she decided to record this event.
Looking at stuff popping out right along here. I hope, oh my god, I hope you can see this.
This man went to a graveyard at night and forgot to lock his car. This is what happened that night. On August of 2021, David and Dell from the YouTube channel Signs and Signals went to explore the Zion Presbyterian Church Cemetery in South Carolina. The graveyard was founded in 1851 and was located isolated within the woods. As David talks about his encounter with a strange man in this cemetery, they unknowingly record someone or something crawling into their vehicle. David and Dell did not notice this. So when they were done recording in the cemetery, they hopped on the car and drove back home. David says the next morning he found the back of his car was open, but nothing was missing. David expresses he is terrified to know whatever was in the car with him that night now knows where he lives. This thing was captured in Loch Ness. In 2014, Mark Hayes recorded an absurdly large creature in the famous Loch Ness Monster Lake. You can see a massive creature emerging from the lake and swimming near the surface. Is this the Loch Ness Monster many people share their stories of? Some people mention a recent abundance of eel DNA that was found in that water. So therefore, maybe this is just a gigantic eel. But personally, I wouldn't want to find out. This family passed away going at 120 on a loaner vehicle. This is the 911 call that was recorded that day. On August 28th of 2009, Mark Saylor, his wife, daughter, and brother-in-law were taking the daughter to a soccer match. Earlier that week, Mark had taken his vehicle to be fixed at a Toyota dealership in El Cajon, California. He was given a loaner Lexus, one of many that had the wrong floor mat installed. This caused the accelerator pedal to jam underneath the floor mat. Mark's brother-in-law, Chris, made a 911 call before disaster. Warning, this recording is real and disturbing.
We're going to 120 Mission Gorge. We're in trouble. There's no brake.
Okay.
Freeway half mile.
Okay, and you don't have the ability to like turn the vehicle off or anything?
We're approaching the intersection.
Okay.
We're approaching the intersection. Hold on. Pray.
Okay. Okay. Hello?
This man attracted unknown beings while he had been singing in ancient tone. On March 14th of 2022, an overtone singer by the name Throat Sing King recorded something terrifying on a live stream. His singing had attracted a curious deer, but if you look closely in the back, he had also attracted unknown entities. Some people say he had been singing an ancient Hebrew letter. therefore opening doors and inviting these entities of the forest. A man was suspicious his 100-year-old doll had been moving around at night. This is what he captured. On July 6th of 2017, a YouTuber was suspicious his doll had been haunted, so he placed the doll on a chair and recorded it for 24 hours. Take a look. This is the world's most cursed clock tower, and the story behind it is horrific. During 1490, a clockmaker from Czechia named Jan Rus was given an assignment to complete a clock that would stand out to the rest of the world. When Jan completed the clock, he was invited to a special banquet by the city elders to say thank you. So normally, Jan took off and showed up to this banquet. He enjoyed the food and drinks, but as the evening progressed, he noticed the city elders were leaving the room one by one until he was all alone. Suddenly, the door burst open and came in two men, one with a long sharp barb and the other with a knife. They tied him to a chair where they stabbed out his eyes and cut his tongue out. The reason they did this to Jan was because the city elders wanted this clock to be the only one like this in the world. In revenge, Jan took it upon himself to sneak into the clock tower, where he would throw his whole body onto the gears, gumming up the mechanism and killing him instantly. It's said that Jan had cursed the clock, and anyone who tampered with the clock went insane or died. Thank you to Psychic Emporium for today's sponsor. She offers spiritual items such as tarot cards, crystal balls, and much more. So if you enjoy what I do here, feel free to support the channel by checking out her website or calling her. This is why you should never go walking home at night. Late one night, a girl in Boswell, Pennsylvania was walking home from her friend's house when suddenly she began to feel like someone had been following her. So she pulled out her phone to record and confront whoever was behind her. What she recorded is utterly horrifying.
Who's there?
A humanoid creature can be seen with glowing eyes, which begins to chase her as she attempts to run away. Since this video published, I'm guessing she's alright, but it's definitely something that will haunt her nightmares. This is why you don't follow the voices at night. On March of 2021, a man named Danny was living in his apartment with his girlfriend. And every night in a closet just outside their bedroom door, they would hear voices and see things moving around.
What's going on?
But one night, Danny heard one of his coats being tossed out of his closet, so he decided he would investigate whatever did this.
Did you see that?